It's time for some hammer justice, with a deck that melds both blink effects and Voltron packages for some big punches and lots of card draw. All on a budget? I will give it to some of these Marvel superhero cards. There are a lot that are incredibly niche, but there are many that meld existing strategies together for some unique approaches to decks. And the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, is one of these, being a 3/3 flyer for 3 that also blinks a target on attack, and is a draw engine. So let's see how we can break her in this budget deck that doesn't break the bank. When I was combing through the nearly 350 legendary creatures coming from the Marvel Superhero set, Commander decks, and Jumpstart set, one of the first that jumped out of me was Jane Foster. She's a draw engine, win con, and enabler all at once. That's a total package. But how could I go about melding all the things she wants to do, like hold hammers and blink things, into a single deck? That gets kind of easy when our commander turns every equipment into half of a Muldrifter. It's still pretty negative value to blink an equipment though, since you need to pay to reattach it, and you can't do that during combat. Unless we build around equipment that auto-equips, right? We've seen multiple of these in recent sets, and got a few more of them here in Marvel Superheroes too, ranging from 1 and 2 mana utility, all the way up to bigger, better benefits. And since the blue-white Mighty Thor can't wield the mono-red Mjolnir, well, let's just give Jane the other Mjolnir to hold. This one auto-equips and has great on-attack effects as well. Jane doesn't need to hold all of these goodies either. This synergy lets us move some of these auto-equipping pieces around to other creatures after we've declared attacks, swerving on our opponents, making them have to make hard choices about blocks. But that concept gave me the core of the deck. How do we not lose tempo from blinking our equipment? This draws us a card and also gives us immediate benefit on enters, which led me down a rabbit hole of effects that make tokens and equips on enters, like 4 Mirrodin and Job Select equipment, which all seem like pretty good blink targets. Who wouldn't love a deck that makes your flying commander bigger, while making tokens, while drawing cards, and while beating down your opponents? But our commander cannot be alone in the deck. We need more creatures to hold equipment, that help cast equipment, and provide more utility. Our smaller creatures in the deck help us cast our equipment cheaper, ensuring we have some in play when Jane is able to attack for the first time, which, again, we can help further by giving her haste in a couple of ways. But my favorite may be ways to help discount some of these equip costs. If we aren't able to blink and free quip, then a Pure Steel Paladin or Forensic Gadgeteer can help it make it cheap or free for us to move these equipment around. On top of this, we have some classic blink targets like Loyal Warhound, Muldrifter, and Peregrine Drake to help ratchet up the value. If we need artifacts entering, we can do that. If we need lands, yup. If we need cards, How about more mana? You betcha. We can have it all at our fingertips. But the big bad Riptide Gearhulk is your best option for board control in this deck, answering the biggest problems on each player's board on enters and when blinked too. It doesn't get much better for 5 mana as a problem solver, and with prowess and double strike, makes for a potential game ender too. And I think folks may be sleeping on Herbie Scout Unit 2. I know that it's super new, but it's basically a common Solemn Simulacrum, where you don't have to wait for it to die to draw a card. On enters, he can do both parts of what a Solemn can, and can even put non-basic lands from your hand into play rather than just basic lands. This is probably the best common that I've seen in a long time. But you're probably staring at your screen asking if our commander is the only thing blinking permanents in this deck, and here's where I've got that answer covered. We need to be able to blink targets if our commander cannot stay in play or cannot attack. And I've packed our utility with these effects, ranging from wide and flexible to pinpoint and narrow to the in-between, to ensure that we get all of our value all of the time, regardless of dependence on our commander. But broad-scale blink effects get nutty because our commander's trigger to draw a card on enters isn't limited to once per turn. So if we blink 5 equipment at once, that's 5 cards drawn. So Yorion and the new Silver Surfer Cosmic Voyager help fill these roles. They're flickers, meaning the permanents that they target return at the end of turn as opposed to immediately. But if played in your second main phase, they're able to blink your whole board and draw you a card for each equipment you control on top of all of those other sweet enters effects. While testing this deck out, I managed to cast Yorion, flicker my entire board, and while everything was in exile, cast Vanquish the Horde. A one-sided board wipe and everything of mine came back, drawing me a new grip of cards. Now that's the kind of synergy you love to see on a budget. Speaking of drawing cards for each equipment you control, did you know the new Swordsman Steel does exactly that? Kinda busted, right? Why blink a single equipment for a single card when blinking this can get you like 5 or 6 cards at once? Totally awesome. And that raises a great point. If you're blinking to draw cards, you want to scale up your targets. Like, blinking a Celestial Armor is just a free card when Jane Foster attacks and lets you put the equipment on her so she's attacking as a 5/3 hexproof indestructible. That's pretty good baseline. But once you get a Muldrifter or Thought Monitor on board, is that effect better than just drawing 2 cards? Or is it better than banishing 3 permanents by blinking a Gearhulk? You've got to pick your targets carefully. And at a later point in the game, would you even bother blinking something to draw cards if your grip is already full? Why not make more mana or grab more lands instead? And that's the beauty and versatility of this budget brew. Sure, you're attacking each turn. Sure, your wing cons are going to be attacking with suited up creatures. But the deck can get you the resources that you need when you need it, which is why it always feels good and always feels consistent despite being a bracket 2 deck. If this isn't powerful enough for you, let's take a look at the upgrade, adding a few bucks to the list to make it even punchier. And if you were looking to put an infinite combo in the deck, you absolutely can by adding Sensei's Divining Top and Mystic Forge. Combined with any of the many artifact cost reducers already in the list, this lets you activate the top, draw a card, putting it on top of your library, then playing it for free with the Forge and the top's cost discounted by 1. That lets you draw every card in your library on demand for free and also nets you infinite artifact spellcasts and artifact enters effects to, I don't know, make your big man Blastoise big enough to eat an opponent whole. To make room for these, I'd recommend axing Guardian of Ghirapur and Skyclave Apparition to make this possible. It helps pivot away from the blink effects and more into the artifact synergies. If you're looking for a better utility in the deck, then I would definitely add in Sigarda's Aid and Hammer of Nazan. These turn any of your equipment into auto-equips, meaning more utility and more versatility to pivot attackers into bigger threats. The bonus on Sigarda's Aid of also giving equipment Flash is absolutely insane. These are both great additions. I'd cut Claims Jumper and Falcon's Wingsuit to make room for these goodies if you can. Lastly, as a tease, here's a few more power plays from this deck that I encountered while testing it. Like combining Assassin's Gauntlet and Mjolnir for a nice burst of damage to all opponents. If you have Mjolnir on a creature that can attack, play or blink Assassin's Gauntlet to deal a damage to each opponent for each tapped creature defending player controls. That's all of them. I managed to catch a Jetmir player who had 37 creatures in play at the time with this in order to take out the entire table single-handedly. Or attacking with both Jane Foster and a Riptide Gearhulk and blinking a Vibranium Strike Gauntlets to auto-equip them onto the double striking Gearhulk, making it a 5/5 double strike trampler that draws you 2 cards if both first strike and regular damage connects with an opponent. Now that becomes difficult to block. I loved some of these crazy plays that this deck could pull off, all on a budget that's $25 less than the other precons from this set. If $75 for an official Wizards precon is too much for your wallet to bear in this economy, then check out this sweet $50 budget brew. Now be warned, I'm going to tag this budget deck with an asterisk, since we're currently looking at pre-order prices for some of these cards, leaving them either hyperinflated or without a price at all yet. Be sure to take a look at the deck list for updates soon. If you've made it this far, remember to like, subscribe, and drop a comment before you take the time to check out this video's sponsors like Card Conduit. They are hands down the easiest way to sell your individual Magic cards without the hassle of traditional buy listing. They'll get you top dollar while handling all of the heavy lifting. from sorting to grading to optimizing your price across a huge network of vendors. And they'll give you cold hard cash for it. You can use the promo code MECHANIC right now for 10% off of all fees. And if you want to pick up the cards for this list, make sure to go check out Card Trader. Use my promo code MECHANIC right now for 5% off your order from any TCG. Card Trader's zero system means you can get cards from all over the world with only one shipping fee. Save money and time today. Lastly, you can check out all of my decks on MOXFIELD. MOXFIELD is the best deck building platform in the world and makes it easy to build decks and search for specific cards with their powerful tools. Have you checked out their drag and drop feature yet? It's revolutionary. Be sure to check out my brews and follow my profile there right now. If you were inspired to brew today, you have to hit that subscribe button. Check out this other deck on my channel right now for more sweet tech. And as always, folks, good luck and have fun.